Hey, welcome back to Myron Golden Insights. If this is your first time here, listen, you just walked into a place where we don't do fluff, we don't do feel-good nonsense, and we absolutely don't do participation trophies. We do truth, we do transformation, we do results. So buckle up, because what I'm about to share with you today is going to make some of you uncomfortable, and that's exactly why you need to hear it. Now, before we get started, let me ask you a question. How many of you watching this right now are tired? Not just physically tired, but emotionally exhausted, mentally drained, spiritually depleted. You're running around trying to make everybody happy, trying to be there for everyone, trying to keep the peace, trying to be a good person, and somehow you're still broke, stuck, frustrated, and wondering why your life isn't changing. Anybody? If that's you, drop a comment right now and just type me, because I need to know I'm talking to the right people. Here's what I want to talk to you about today. And this message is so critical that if you miss this, you're going to waste another year, another 5 years, maybe another decade of your life wondering why you can't break through. The title of today's message is simple but powerful. Stop being nice to everyone. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Wait, are you telling me to be mean? Are you telling me to be rude? Are you telling me to be disrespectful? No. I'm telling you something far more important than that. I'm telling you that your niceness is the very thing that's been sabotaging your success, destroying your dreams, and keeping you from the greatness that God has already placed inside of you. See, society has programmed you to believe that being nice to everybody is a virtue. Your mama told you, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Your teachers rewarded you for being the pleasant, agreeable, cooperative student. Your boss promoted the person who never rocked the boat. And now, here you are, decades later, nice to everyone and nothing to show for it. But here's what nobody told you. The graveyard is full of nice people who died with their dreams still inside them. The graveyard is full of nice people who spent their entire lives financing other people's visions while their own visions remained unfunded. The graveyard is full of nice people who said yes to everyone else and no to themselves. Today, that changes. Today, I'm going to show you the difference between being nice and being kind. I'm going to show you how your niceness is costing you your greatness. I'm going to show you why boundaries aren't just important, they're essential. And I'm going to show you how to stop people-pleasing and start purpose-pursuing. But here's the deal. You've got to stay with me all the way to the end of this message. Don't you dare click off this video after 2 minutes because your feelings got hurt. Don't you dare scroll away when I say something that makes you uncomfortable, because the breakthrough you've been praying for is on the other side of the truth you've been avoiding. The transformation you've been wanting is waiting for you at the end of this message. So do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on the notifications, and commit to watching this all the way through. Your future self will thank you for it. If you're ready for this, type ready in the comments. If you're ready to stop playing small, if you're ready to stop being nice to everyone at the expense of yourself, if you're ready to finally step into the greatness that's been calling you, let me know you're here, because what I'm about to share with you isn't theory. This isn't motivational fluff. This is truth that will set you free if you're willing to receive it. The difference between nice and kind. Listen, I need you to understand something that most people will never tell you because they're too busy trying to be politically correct. There is a massive, fundamental, life-altering difference between being nice and being kind. And until you understand this distinction, you're going to keep getting the same results you've been getting, wondering why life keeps handing you the short end of the stick. Nice comes from weakness. I didn't stutter. Nice comes from a place of insecurity, fear, and the desperate need for validation. When you're being nice, you're not operating from your authentic self. You're operating from a persona, a mask, a character you created to get people to like you. You're essentially auditioning for approval in every interaction you have. Think about it. When you're nice to somebody, what are you really doing? You're managing their perception of you. You're calculating your words, filtering your thoughts, suppressing your true feelings, all in service of what? Making sure they don't get upset, making sure they don't reject you, making sure they think you're a good person. That's exhausting, that's expensive, and that's exactly why you're tired all the time. Kindness, on the other hand, comes from an entirely different source. Kindness comes from strength. Kindness comes from a solid foundation of self-respect and self-worth. When you're kind to someone, you're not doing it because you need something from them. You're not doing it because you're afraid of their reaction. You're doing it because you've chosen to operate from a place of principle, not preference. You're doing it because your character demands it, not because their approval requires it. See, here's what you need to understand about nice people. Nice people are manipulators. Now, before you get defensive, hear me out. They may not be consciously manipulating, but that's exactly what niceness is. It's a form of manipulation. You're being pleasant, agreeable, accommodating, not because that's who you are, but because you want to control how people respond to you. You want to avoid conflict. You want to dodge confrontation. You want to escape rejection. So you put on this nice act, and you hope it gets you what you want, which is acceptance. But kind people don't need your acceptance because they've already accepted themselves. Kind people will tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Kind people will set boundaries even when it disappoints you. Kind people will say no even when it makes you angry. Why? Because kindness is rooted in truth, and truth doesn't bend to make people comfortable. Truth stands firm, and if you can't handle it, that's a you problem, not a truth problem. Let me give you a biblical perspective on this because the Bible addresses this directly. Proverbs says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy." You see that? A real friend, a kind friend, will wound you with truth. They'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But a nice person, they'll kiss you with lies. They'll tell you everything's fine when it's falling apart. They'll co-sign your foolishness because they don't want to upset you. Jesus Christ was the kindest person who ever walked the earth, but he was not nice to everyone. He called the Pharisees whitewashed tombs. He told Peter, "Get behind me, Satan." He flipped tables in the temple. Was that nice? Absolutely not. Was it kind? Absolutely yes. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do is disrupt someone's delusion. Nice people are conflict avoiders. Kind people are truth tellers. Nice people want peace at any price. Kind people want peace with purpose. And here's the thing, you can't have both. You can't be committed to truth and committed to everyone liking you at the same time. It's impossible. One of those commitments will have to break, and it's usually your commitment to truth that gets sacrificed on the altar of acceptance. When you operate from niceness, you're essentially living in bondage. You're in bondage to other people's opinions. You're in bondage to other people's feelings. You're in bondage to other people's expectations. You can't speak freely. You can't move freely. You can't be freely. You're constantly monitoring, adjusting, conforming, performing. That's not freedom. That's a prison with a smile on its face. But when you operate from kindness, you're free. You're free to be yourself. You're free to speak your truth. You're free to set your standards. You're free to walk in your purpose without apologizing for it. Because kindness doesn't require the approval of others. Kindness only requires the integrity of self. Here's another distinction. Nice is temporary. Kind is permanent. You can be nice to someone in a moment, but you can't sustain it long term because it's not authentic. Eventually, the real you is going to emerge. And when it does, that person is going to feel betrayed. They're going to say, "I thought you were different." No, you thought they were nice. Now you're meeting the real person and you don't like them because you fell in love with a performance, not a person. But kindness is sustainable because it's authentic. A kind person is the same person in public and in private. A kind person doesn't have to remember what they said to who because they only speak truth. A kind person doesn't exhaust themselves trying to maintain an image because they're not projecting an image. They're being themselves. And let me tell you what happens when you transition from nice to kind. The wrong people will leave your life and the right people will be attracted to it. Because nice attracts users, kind attracts builders, nice attracts takers, Kind attracts givers. Nice attracts people who want to drain you. Kind attracts people who want to grow with you. So stop being nice. Stop smiling when you want to scream. Stop saying yes when you mean no. Stop tolerating disrespect in the name of keeping the peace. Stop financing other people's dysfunction with your emotional labor. That's not love. That's not compassion. That's cowardice dressed up as courtesy. Your niceness is costing you your greatness. Let me tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable, but somebody needs to say it. Your niceness is costing you your greatness. Every single time you prioritize being pleasant over being purposeful, you're making a withdrawal from your destiny account. And most of you are so deep in the red, you don't even realize you're bankrupt when it comes to your future. You want to know why you're not where you're supposed to be right now? You want to know why you keep having the same conversations, dealing with the same problems, stuck in the same patterns year after year? It's because you're too nice. You're giving away your most valuable resources to people who don't deserve them, and you're doing it with a smile on your face, thinking you're being a good person. Let me break this down for you in a way that's going to hurt, but it's going to heal you at the same time. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your purpose, you are simultaneously saying no to something that does. That's not my opinion. That's mathematics. That's the law of opportunity cost. You can't be in two places at once. You can't invest your time in two things simultaneously. So when you're spending 3 hours on the phone with somebody who only calls you when they need something, that's 3 hours you're not spending building your business, developing your skills, investing in your family, or pursuing your dreams. And I know what you're thinking, but I'm just trying to help people. I'm just trying to be there for them. No, you're not. You're trying to avoid the guilt that comes with saying no. You're trying to avoid the discomfort of disappointing someone. You're trying to avoid being perceived as selfish or mean. So you sacrifice your future on the altar of other people's immediate gratification, and you call it being helpful. That's not help, that's self-sabotage. Here's what the Bible says in Galatians: am I now seeking the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. You see that? You cannot serve your purpose and serve people's opinions at the same time. One of those masters is going to dominate. And for most of you, it's been people's opinions your entire life. That's why you're stuck. Think about this. How many opportunities have you passed up because you were too busy being nice to people who weren't being nice to themselves? How many business ventures didn't happen because you were helping someone move for the 5th time? How many books didn't get written because you were on the phone counseling someone through the same drama they've been in for years? How many relationships with the right people didn't develop because you were too busy maintaining relationships with the wrong people out of obligation? Your greatness has a price tag, and the currency is your time, your energy, and your focus. And every time you're nice to everyone, you're giving that currency away to people who aren't investing it in anything that produces a return. You're financing other people's lives while your own life is on layaway. You're paying for other people's dreams while your dreams are collecting dust in the warehouse of someday. Let me give you a reality check. The people you're being nice to, the ones you're bending over backwards for, the ones you're rearranging your schedule for, the ones you're losing sleep over, where are they when you need them? When you have an emergency, who shows up? When you have a dream that needs support, who's investing in you? When you need a favor, who's available? I'll tell you who, not the people you've been nice to, because nice attracts users and users disappear when it's time to reciprocate. You know what's crazy? You'll spend 2 hours helping someone with their resume, but you won't spend 2 hours working on your own business plan. You'll stay up late listening to someone complain about their job, but you won't stay up late studying the skills you need to level up in your career. You'll drive across town to help someone move furniture, but you won't drive across town to attend a networking event that could change your life. Why? Because being nice feels good in the moment, but building greatness requires you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to admit your niceness is a drug. It gives you a hit of validation. It makes you feel needed. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like a good person. And you're addicted to that feeling. You're so addicted to it that you'll sacrifice your future just to get another hit of approval from people who wouldn't cross the street to attend your funeral. And let me tell you what happens when you keep doing this. You wake up 10 years from now in the exact same place you are today, except older and more bitter. You look around and wonder why everyone else is winning while you're still struggling. You see people who you know aren't as talented as you, aren't as educated as you, aren't as experienced as you, but they're living the life you dreamed about. Why? Because while you were being nice to everyone, they were being intentional about their purpose. There's a scripture in Proverbs that says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." You've been trying to be friends with everybody, and that's why you don't have anybody who's truly in your corner. Greatness doesn't come from being friendly with the masses. Greatness comes from being intentional with the few. Every yes you give to mediocrity is a no. You're giving to excellence. Every minute you invest in low-value activities is a minute you're stealing from high-value opportunities. Every ounce of energy you spend on people who drain you is an ounce of energy you don't have for people who would multiply it. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about this. What has your niceness gotten you? Has it made you wealthy? Has it made you healthy? Has it made you happy? Has it moved you closer to your goals or further away from them? Has it attracted quality people into your life or just quantity? Has it built your dream or everyone else's? Your greatness is waiting for you, but it's not going to come find you while you're busy being nice to everyone. Greatness requires focus, and focus requires elimination. You've got to eliminate the time wasters, the energy drainers, the purpose blockers, and the dream killers. And most of them are people you've been nice to for way too long. So let me bring this all together for you because this is important. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I need you to understand how all of this connects to your life right now in this moment. First, we talked about the difference between being nice and being kind. Nice comes from weakness, from fear, from the desperate need for approval. Kind comes from strength, from truth, from a solid foundation of self-worth. When you understand this distinction, you stop performing for people and start operating from principle. You stop being a manipulator and start being a truth teller. You stop seeking validation and start walking in authenticity. Second, we talked about how your niceness is costing you your greatness. Every yes you give to things that don't align with your purpose is a no. You're giving to your destiny. Every hour you spend being nice to people who don't value you is an hour you're stealing from your future. Every ounce of energy you waste on low-value relationships is energy you don't have for high-value opportunities. Your time, your energy, your focus. These are the currencies of greatness. And you've been spending them on people who will never invest them in anything that produces a return. Here's what I need you to understand. You have a choice to make right now. You can continue down the path you've been on, being nice to everyone, seeking approval, avoiding conflict, keeping the peace, and staying stuck. Or you can make a decision today that you're going to stop being nice and start being kind. You're going to stop people pleasing and start purpose pursuing. You're going to stop financing other people's dreams and start funding your own. And I know that's scary. I know it feels uncomfortable. I know you're worried about what people are going to think, how they're going to react, what they're going to say about you. But let me tell you something. The people who are going to get upset when you set boundaries are the same people who were benefiting from you not having any. The people who are going to call you selfish when you start prioritizing your purpose are the same people who were selfishly consuming your resources. The people who are going to say you've changed are the same people who needed you to stay the same so they could keep using you. Your destiny is not on the other side of their approval. Your breakthrough is not waiting for their permission. Your greatness is not contingent on their acceptance. It's time for you to stop living for everyone else and start living for the purpose God placed inside of you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a decision right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, right now. Make a decision that you're done being nice to everyone. Make a decision that you're going to establish boundaries and protect your time. Make a decision that you're going to say no to the wrong things so you can say yes to the right things. Make a decision that your greatness matters more than their comfort. And when you make that decision, I want you to understand something. The right people will respect it, the right people will honor it, the right people will celebrate it, and the wrong people will reveal themselves. And that's not a loss, that's a blessing, because you can't build a future with people who are committed to your past. Listen, if this message spoke to you today, if something I said resonated with you, if you felt convicted, challenged, or inspired, I need you to do something for me. I need you to hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. This is Myron Golden Insights, and we're building a community of people who are committed to truth, transformation, and results. We don't do excuses here. We don't do victim mentality here. We don't do mediocrity here. We do excellence, and we need you to be a part of this movement. And here's what I want you to do in the comments. I want you to type one word, boundaries. That's it. Just type boundaries. So I know you're making a commitment today to stop being nice to everyone and start protecting your greatness. And if you want to go a step further, tell me one thing you're going to say no to this week so you can say yes to your purpose. Share that in the comments, because when you declare it publicly, you're making a commitment that's harder to break. If you know somebody who needs to hear this message, and I guarantee you do, share this video with them right now. Send it to that friend who's always exhausted from helping everyone. Send it to that family member who can't say no. Send it to that coworker who's stuck because they're too busy making everyone else comfortable. This message could change their life. Remember, your greatness is not optional. It's not a luxury. It's not something you get to if you have time. Your greatness is your responsibility. And every day you spend being nice to everyone is a day you're stealing from the world that needs what only you can give. Now go out there and stop being nice to everyone. Be kind, be strong, be purposeful, and be great. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay focused, stay intentional, and stay committed to your purpose. This is Myron Golden Insights. Let's get it.